Welcome back. So now that we have our keyword list of all of the scenes, what we want to do is we want to go inside of our video creation software and we want to find assets to match each of these phrases. Now, in some cases, we might find that the video creation software is inadequate. They don't have exactly what we need. Then we'll go outside of there. We always want to start with the video creation software because anytime you use the assets inside of the software, you will be able to use the tools in order to draw, in order to animate. In some cases, if you add outside sources in, the animation process doesn't work the same. So let's open up our video creation software. And what we're going to do now is we're going to search for each one of these phrases. So for example, instead of empower, what we might start with is power, and we'll search for something that might represent empower. And we could probably use this, which would be a fist. And so this would be our first scene. So now what we're going to do is we're going to move the timeline down. We're now going to look for lock or unlock. We'll start with unlock. And these are all premium suggestions, so we'll take a look at lock. And a key will actually work fine. So we'll use the key. We'll set this, and then we'll move on to the next scene. Our next phrase is goals, so we're going to do goals. And this is a good one for goals. We'll now move on to the next scene. Next keyword is life, so we will see what we can find for a life. And this will actually work just fine. So you get the idea. So what we're going to do for the rest of the scenes, we're going to do this off cameras. We're going to go and we're going to find images for each one of these phrases. And then we'll come back. Okay, so we are still selecting images here and continuing to go through the process. Now, one thing to note, since we're doing a video on the sales process, we decided to use an image from the actual product. So we're actually going to put our product image inside of this part of the video. And we are now at image number 23 or scene 23, and we have 4 more left at this point. Okay, so you can see now here at the bottom, we have selected all of our images for our scenes. We're now going to save this particular file inside of our video creation software. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back. Now in this video, we're going to do some simple scene design. And remember, we have 27 scenes to design, and we want them to look about uniform if we can. And so we're going to do a very simple design for the sake of time. We're going to display the image and then some of the words. And so what we're going to do right now is we're going to get our Microsoft Word document, and we're going to take some of the words and we're going to transfer them into the canvas. And so what we want to do is we want to use our outline view. And we want to do this one line at a time. So for example, we might take this entire phrase, or we might just take part of it. So we're going to take this phrase, and we're going to arrange this in our canvas for our scene. And we're not doing any of the timing yet, so what we're going to do is we're going to just place this scene and then some words. We're going to enlarge this. And we're going to set our motion. So this is going to be our first scene. So what we want to try to do is we want to try to make all the scenes similar. Now we don't have to use all the words in all of these scenes, but we want to design them in a way that's going to be consistent so it does not confuse the viewer and it keeps them focused on our message. Okay, so we're going to do a similar design in the next scene. So we're going to slide this over. And we're going to bring these keys in. I'm going to slide that out of the picture. And then we're going to add in our next line. So let's take a look to find out what our next phrase is. Unlock your full potential and supercharge your success. We're going to take part of that phrase. And we're going to add this to our next scene. And what we're going to do is we're going to take that phrase out. We're going to enlarge this. Maybe what we'll do is we'll kind of make this so that it is a little more full in a stack. And then we'll put a little more spacing between the letters. We'll click OK. Then we'll enlarge this. Okay, so now we will set this. So what we want to do now is we want to go ahead and lay out all of our scenes. And we're not going to deal with timing right now, but what we're going to do is we're going to put the design to our scenes for all 27 different images. Okay, so we have now laid out all 27 scenes, and we are now ready to save our presentation. And we are now ready to go to the next step. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back. Now in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to add music to our video. And you'll notice that we have our voiceover file in the project area. What we're going to do is we're going to pull that down to the timeline. And this has already been edited. So what we're now going to do is we're now going to test different audios to get a sense for whether or not we have found the right one for our project. Now, we can use audio associated with Camtasia if you have Camtasia. So for example, we can test or listen to the full song of this audio to see if it's something that we would think that we want. And we're probably trying to accomplish a certain thing. And depending on what your sales video is going to want to do, you're going to want to pick the right music. Now, in some cases, the music in Camtasia is probably going to be used by a lot of people. So if you're going to have a unique sales video, you probably want to use something that's going to be royalty free, that's a little more exclusive. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab the long version of a couple of these selections. And we're going to take these three and drag them in. We're going to find a few more and drag them in. And you want to make sure that you do have something that's royalty free, that you have the rights to work with. Now what we're going to do is we're actually going to test each one of these audios onto the timeline. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with one of these. We're going to drag it down to the timeline. And when we do that, we're going to tone down the audio. we're going to bring the audio for that track way down. And then we're going to fade it in and fade it out. Then we want to just listen. Anyone want to become more empowered? Discover your life purpose, unlock your full potential. So if we like this audio, what we're going to do is we're going to come here to the end. We're then going to cut this audio. We're going to cut that part out. Then we'll go back. We're going to fade that part out again. And so we now have is our voiceover, and we have our voiceover now with music. So now what we need to do is we need to reproduce this audio. And we are going to use the custom production settings. And then we're going to publish. And an MP3 player goes pretty fast, so we're going to go ahead and just let this process go. We would typically do this off camera, but this is a pretty fast process. And when it completes, what's going to happen is our Camtasia is going to open up again.
Anyone want to become more empowered? Discover your life purpose.
We can open the production folder. There's where our audio is. And we are now ready to go on to the next step. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back. Now in this video, now that we have completed our audio, we are now going to go through a very simple process of adding that audio to our video creation software. And every video creation software is going to be a little different. In Sparkle Video Scribe, we are going to go to the music section. And you'll notice that there is no track selected. We could add royalty-free music all by itself, but what we're going to do is we're going to add in an audio track. So we're going to go to our hard drive and look for our audio. Okay, so we have our audio. We are going to add this and open it. Now, in some cases, if you don't have a long audio, what you can do in just about all of the video creation software is to have the audio loop. Now, in this case, we're not going to do that because we're going to time our slides in order to meet the audio. So the audio is actually going to dictate how long the actual video is going to be. So we're not going to choose the looping. And in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to click OK. We can adjust the volume to the audio, but in this case, we're going to leave it as is. We're going to click OK. So now what you'll find is that the actual audio is part of the timeline, and we can actually start looking at the timing of our video, and we can start testing that timing by clicking the preview button. But the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to save the entire project. Now that we have the project saved, what we can actually do is we can actually start to preview the video by clicking this button.
Anyone want to become more empowered? Discover your life purpose, unlock your full potential, and supercharge your success. And finally reach your
Okay, so as you can see, we're going to have some work to do with the timing, but we are now going to be able to start working with the timing of the audio as well as the images that we have placed inside of our video creation software. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video.